Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most important books in management and organizational psychology, The Human Side of Enterprise, written by Douglas McGregor in 1960. First published in 1960, this book fundamentally changed how leaders think about people, motivation, and organizational culture. At the heart of McGregor's work is a powerful idea. The way managers think about people shapes everything: their leadership style, their communication, their culture, and the results they get. McGregor observed that leaders tend to operate from one of two mindsets. He called them Theory X and Theory Y. These two theories represent contrasting assumptions about human nature, and each one creates a very different workplace environment. Today, nearly every discussion about leadership, organizational behavior, or employee engagement is rooted, directly or indirectly, in McGregor's ideas. So, in this session, we'll take a guided journey through these two theories, explore what they mean, how they affect people, and why they still matter deeply in the 21st century. Let's begin with the older mindset, the world of Theory X. Section 1. Theory X, the controlling view of human nature. Theory X represents the traditional view of people at work, especially common in the early industrial age. According to Theory X, people naturally dislike work, avoid responsibility whenever possible, prefer being directed, and require strict control, threats, or rewards to perform. Managers who operate from Theory X assume that if employees are not closely supervised, they will not work. So what emerges? A management style built on control, rules, hierarchy, and punishment. Picture an old factory, long lines of workers, rigid schedules, supervisors walking between rows, watching every move. That is the essence of Theory X. McGregor argued that this approach may produce efficiency in the short term, but it has severe consequences. Employees become passive. Creativity disappears. People only do the minimum required. And eventually, motivation collapses. And here's the key insight. Theory X becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When people are treated as if they cannot be trusted, they eventually behave that way. When responsibility is taken from them, they stop taking initiative. When leaders expect very little, employees give very little. Theory X may produce compliance, but it never produces excellence. Section 2. Theory Y, a new view of human potential. In contrast to Theory X, McGregor proposed Theory Y, a radically different view of humans at work. Theory Y begins with the belief that people do not inherently dislike work. Work can be meaningful and fulfilling. Individuals are capable of self-direction and self-control when committed to goals. Taking responsibility is natural, not something to be avoided. Creativity and problem-solving are widely distributed across the workforce. Motivation doesn't come only from money, but from purpose, growth, and contribution. In a Theory Y environment, managers don't control people. They empower them. They don't issue orders. They create opportunities. They don't supervise every action. They build trust that invites people to give their best. This approach leads to higher engagement, greater innovation, stronger commitment, and improved performance. Organizations like Google, Toyota, Netflix, Southwest Airlines all embody Theory Y principles today. They trust people. They encourage autonomy. They create environments where individuals can thrive. Theory Y does not ignore reality. It recognizes that when people believe in the mission and have room to grow, they consistently exceed expectations. Section 3. Why people behave differently under X and Y. McGregor didn't just observe behaviors, he sought to understand the deeper psychology behind them. He borrowed insights from Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the bottom are basic needs: food, safety, salary, stability. At the top are higher needs: achievement, respect, purpose, and self-actualization. Theory. X organizations only address the lower level needs. They assume people are motivated by fear or money. But Theory Y organizations unlock the higher level needs. They appeal to purpose, mastery, growth, belonging, and meaning. When people feel valued and trusted, their deeper motivations engage. They don't just work harder, they care more. They don't just complete tasks, they solve problems. They don't just show up, they contribute. That difference is the true power of Theory Y. Section 4. What Theory Y organizations look like. In a Theory Y workplace, the culture feels very different. Employees have a voice. Leaders act more like coaches than controllers. Teams participate in decisions. Information flows freely. Responsibilities are pushed downward rather than held at the top. People work not because they are forced to, but because they want to. Think of Toyota's Kaizen culture, where every worker can stop the production line to fix a problem. Think of Google's innovation mindset, where employees are encouraged to experiment and propose new ideas. Think of Netflix's culture of freedom with responsibility, where high autonomy leads to high performance. These organizations don't succeed because of fancy perks. They succeed because they treat people as capable adults with meaningful contributions to make. Section 5. When Theory X and Theory Y collide. McGregor warned of a dangerous scenario when leaders speak Theory Y language but behave with Theory X instincts. For example, a manager says, "Be innovative," but rejects every idea that isn't safe. A company says, "Take ownership," but continues approving every minor decision. A leader says, "We trust our people," but monitors every minute of their work. These contradictions ruin motivation. People become confused, frustrated, or cynical. McGregor emphasized that for Theory Y to work, leaders must genuinely believe in people's potential, not merely pretend. Section 6. The role of the leader. For McGregor, leadership is not about controlling behavior. It's about shaping conditions that bring out the best in people. The Theory Y leader builds trust, creates clarity, removes barriers, encourages participation, provides meaningful challenges, helps people grow, aligns values and purpose. This kind of leader doesn't see employees as problems to be managed. They see them as partners on a shared mission. Section 7. The lasting impact on modern management. McGregor's ideas spread through the world of business, influencing human resource practices, leadership development, organizational culture, employee motivation, participative and democratic management, team-based structures, agile and lean methods. Whenever organizations talk about empowerment, engagement, autonomy, trust, or culture, they are speaking in the language of Theory Y. McGregor changed not only what organizations do, but how leaders think. Conclusion. The human side of enterprise teaches a timeless truth. People perform better when they are trusted, respected, and given room to grow. Theory X creates compliance. Theory Y creates commitment. Theory X creates order. Theory Y creates excellence. At the end of the day, McGregor invites every leader to ask, which belief system am I operating from? Because the assumptions we hold about people shape everything: our culture, our strategy, our leadership, and ultimately, our success. Thank you for joining this deep exploration of Douglas McGregor's classic work. May these ideas help you lead and work